Hey, welcome to my channel. I am Chrissy. I am the owner of Chrissy LLC, and today we're going to be sublimating 3 tumblers. I'm so excited about these tumblers because one is for a really good friend of mine, and 2 are a purchase order for a special customer. So I'm going to go ahead and show you. I printed the images with my Sawgrass 1000. This is an amazing printer. So if you're getting into sublimation and you're looking for a printer, this is the way to go. So printed with my Sawgrass. I use the Sawgrass Creative Studios design software. And let me show you what we're going to sublimate today. All right, so we're going to be sublimating a Sisters United. This is for Sarar, who is an AKA. That's for my good friend. We are also going to be sublimating. Y'all, I made this. I think this is so cute. Actually, I made all of these designs, but I think this is so cute. So some pink cow print, a little bit of flower going on there, a little bit of hidden glitter. We'll be sublimating this, and then we will be sublimating a custom order with a tumbler with some marble, some glitter, and a name. All right, so let me clean off my tumblers, get my laptop out of the way, and we will get started. All right, so I went ahead and I wiped off all 3 of my tumblers, and when you do that, you'll just wipe it off with a rag with a little bit of alcohol on it, rubbing alcohol on it. And the first thing that I do is I decide which design I'm going to sublimate. I'm going to do on the tumbler first. So I think I'm going to go with this one. This one is so cute. So we're going to do this design first. Okay, so I always turn my tumbler upside down. Now, if you don't do that, then that's fine, but that's what I do. I always turn my tumbler upside down. And as you can see on the image, there's a white border, right? But I always trim the white border because you really want you don't want a lot of white in the area. So I'm going to trim. I'm going to trim this side right here, and I'm also trimming the top portion. I'm leaving this side alone and the bottom for now. So you should have paper as so. And I turn it upside down, and now I'm going to wrap it around my tumbler and see how much pink is overlapping, and there is quite a bit. So I am going to go ahead and get rid of that white line, and I'm going to go ahead and get rid of just a little bit of the pink that's overlapping, and I'm going to do that for both sides. Okay. Again, I left the bottom alone. I left that bottom alone. Okay, and there's still a little bit of pink that's overlapping, but it's not too bad. All right, so now what I'm going to do is it is time to tape, okay? But you want to pinch very tightly on your tumbler, okay? So if you are new to making tumblers, and I guess even if you're not new to making tumblers, this thing is really handy. It's called the Pinch Perfect. As soon as I started making tumblers, I was like, you know what? This is not going to work. My poor hands, this ain't going to be fun. So I got the Pinch Perfect, and it does exactly what it says. It pinches that paper for me, so I can make sure I get a nice tight fit around my tumbler. And I tape as so. Then I just turn it around. And you don't really have to pinch the Pinch Perfect too much. It kind of just does it for you, actually. I'm not even really pinching. So you want to make sure the tape is nice and tight. Right now, the following. It should look like this. This is how I do mine. If you've seen someone do theirs differently, if you yourself do yours differently, that's cool, right? Everybody has their preference. That's what I choose to do, or how to do it. Then I put my tumbler in my tumbler cradle, take a piece of my blue heat tape, and I just go down the seam. I want to make sure when I'm going down the seam that it is as smooth and flat as possible. I don't want any ghosting once this tumbler has been made. Once I get to the end, I just create a little flap with my tape. Now, I use my little tool that you pick up rhinestones with. This one on the end, it has a little bead. Not sure if you can tell or not. But I just go down, make sure my seam is really, really good, because you want your seam to be defined. So my seam is good to go. So this is how I do it. You don't have to do it this way, but this is how I do it. I take my piece of tape and I just fold it over. Now I've seen some artists take their tape and go widthwise, but I don't know, this feels right to me. So this is how I do mine. But again, if you do yours differently, that's great. So I just go around the tumbler like this, the top of the tumbler, and I leave the bottom alone. But I'm going to go ahead and finish taping the top of the tumbler, and then I will show you what I have as soon as it's finished being taped. All right, so my whole top is taped. And then what I do is I leave the bottom alone, because if you tape the bottom, that's where you get ghosting. And that's at least what I found. So I leave the bottom alone. I take painter's tape, and you can buy a skinnier painter's tape, but this is the only one that my guy had on hand. So I just took what was available to me. So I take painter's tape and I get as close to the top of the rim as possible. And I push down very hard and I pull. So you're wanting to make sure you're pulling as you're going around. You're pulling because you don't want any bumps, bubbles. You want it as flat as possible. So I've done the top, and now for the bottom, the only thing I will do with the bottom is put a piece of painter's tape. And when I put the painter's tape, I look for where the tumbler stops and where the image, I actually look for where the tumbler stops. So where the tumbler stops is where I'm going to line up the tape, okay? So I'm not going to the end of the paper, because that's not where the tumbler stops. The tumbler stops a little bit above the end of the paper. And again, I'm doing the same thing. I'm wrapping tightly and I'm making sure that everything's nice and flat. Okay, so once I've done that, again, I go back through with my little tool just to make sure the seam is defined again. And this tumbler is almost ready to go into the oven. Okay, so we're gonna go ahead. I'm gonna skip to all 3 tumblers being wrapped, and then we will put them in the oven. All right, so all of the tumblers are now wrapped and they are ready to be sublimated. So what I do before I sublimate them is I actually put them in a shrink wrap bag, and I'll show you what that looks like. And I just get these from Amazon. So what I do is I put the tumbler in the shrink wrap bag, but I do not go all the way to the bottom, because remember, we don't want the paper to curl at the bottom. That's where ghosting comes in. So I kind of stop right where that line is, where the tape ends. That's where I know that I need to stop with shrink wrapping this bag. So these 3 tumblers are now ready to go into the oven, and I'm going to preset it. I forgot to do that. Preset the oven. I'm going to do it. I need hot air. We're going to do it for 10 minutes at 195. Once it beeps, it will be ready for us to go ahead. And put our tumblers in the oven. So let's see what happens once they come out. Okay, so our tumblers are now in the oven. We have about 7-8 more minutes to go. Again, this is set at 195 degrees Celsius. So we're gonna let them continue baking. And in about 7-8 minutes, once we hear that beep, we will go ahead and remove them and see what they are looking like. All right, so the timer has gone off, so we're going to go ahead and just lay them on our cooling surface, and you can get those from Amazon as well. Make sure you have a heat glove too, because you don't want to burn yourself. If you pull these straight out of the oven, which hopefully you would not do that, but you will burn yourself bad. All right, so we're going to let them cool here for a little bit. And then we will open them up and see what we have. Okay, so they have probably been cooling for about 30 seconds. I'm like the most impatient person when it comes to opening these and looking to see what it looks like, because I don't know, I just don't have any patience when it comes to this. So we're gonna go ahead and take our wrapper off. This is beautiful. This is beautiful. Look at this one. Again, a good seam. Beautiful. Those are our 3 tumblers for today. I hope you enjoyed hanging out with me and making some tumblers. If you see a design that you would like, or you have an idea and you would like a tumbler, let me know. You can get them in size 20 and 30. Oh my gosh, my friend's gonna be so happy when she gets this. So remember to like and subscribe. Check out my Shopify, my Etsy. Free shipping and handling on any orders 35 and above. All right, I'll check y'all out next time.